Hi, this is an exam revision video for Cutting Edge Intermediate Unit 12. In this unit we did grammar on could have, should have, would have. We did hypothetical situations in the past with if, and the vocabulary was problems and solutions. So could have, would have, should have. I'm going to split this up. First, I'm going to talk about could have. Look at this sentence. I could have walked to work, but I got a taxi because it was quicker. In this we have could have walked. Could have with the past is a possible past that did not happen. So the walked is to talk about the past, but the could have refers to the fact that it was possible but didn't happen. If you compare it to this, I could walk when I was 1 year old. This also is in the past, but it's using could as an ability. But when we use could have, it's a possible past. So the form is could have plus past participle. Now here the past participle is walked, but remember we have past participles which are irregular. So the regular one, I could have walked to work, but I got the taxi, it was just quicker. I could have played football with my friends, but I was tired. So this is regular with ed. And we have irregular past participles like this. I could have gone to another country to study, but I joined the army instead. Gone is the past participle of go. I could have made dinner, but there was no food in the kitchen. Made is the past participle of make. So remember to study your irregular past participles on page 175 in the book. If we use the negative, I couldn't have helped you in the exam because it was against the rules. This is impossible. It means it was not possible for me to help you in the exam. I couldn't have told you the answer in the exam because it was against the rules. So this is could have. Now let's look at would have. Look at the picture. So his phone is out of battery. I would have called you, but my phone had no charge. So this is would have. And this is when we imagine something in the past that didn't happen. Could have is possible. In this one it's an imaginary past. And it's the same kind of structure, would have plus past participle. I would have called you, but my phone had no charge, sorry. The ending of the movie was a surprise. I wouldn't have guessed that he was the killer, so we can use it in negative too. It means an imaginary past that didn't happen. And the last one is should have. Look at the picture. We've got a boss pointing at his watch and someone is sorry. I'm sorry I was late to work. I should have woken up earlier. Should have woken up is should have. And it's something that didn't happen in the past, same like would have and could have, but you wish that it did happen. Okay? So it's something that we use for something that we wish was different in the past. The form is should have plus past participle. Here we have an apology. Apology is sorry. I'm sorry I was late to work. I should have woken up earlier. Could also be a criticism. So when you think something is bad, you shouldn't have driven so fast. That's why you got a ticket. So when you tell another person what you think, this could be shouldn't have. Or it's a regret. This is more a criticism of yourself when you feel you did something. I should have listened to my father. He always has good advice. Quite similar to the apology, but that's you talking to another person. This is you talking to yourself. Okay, so that is could have, would have, should have. Now, taking on a little bit similar, we have hypothetical situations in the past with if. Bit of a complicated name, but we also call it the third conditional. You've used the word if before with other phrases. And this one is the third example of this. So look at the picture. If I had studied harder, I would have passed my exam. So we've got would have again, but this one we're using with if. So we need to look at the tense that goes with if. I had studied, I would have passed my exam. So think about this sentence. What does it mean? It's basically a possibility in the past. This is what hypothetical means. Something that was possible in the past. Can't change it now, but it was possible then. The form is if plus past perfect, I had studied, then would have passed, would have and past participle. This is the form of the third conditional. So if I had studied harder, I would have passed my exams. If we're a little less sure about the change in the past, we can use might have. If I had answered that question, I might have passed the exam. You don't know, but you're a bit sure, but not too much. You could also use could have. I could have passed the exam. Present possibility. Now, I just wanted to compare this. You have studied this before. If I studied hard, I would pass this exam today. We're using the past to talk about today. So when we're talking about a possibility in the present, we use a past with if. If we're talking about a past possibility, which is what we're studying here, if I had studied harder, I would have passed my exams last week. That is the past possibility. So notice past perfect for the past, past simple for the present. I know that's complicated, but that's how it works with the word if. If I'd studied hard, if I had studied harder. Now, just to make it even more complicated, we can mix them together. If I had worked harder at school, I would have a better job now. So this is talking about something that was long in the past, but now something would be different. And this is different to the form we have here. And also, if I was a good student, I would have graduated from my course. So this is in the far past, but it was talking about in general now. If I was a good student, this is what's happening. You're still on the course, but the wish is in the past. So this is even more complicated using the third conditional, but just get used to practicing these terms and get used to using the past participles with would. Finally, we have vocabulary on problems and solutions. So, vocabulary with problems: to have a problem with, to have concerns. Concerns is a bit like problem. And then a nice expression, to lose sleep over something. So it means that you're so worried that you didn't sleep during the night. I lose sleep over something. This is ways to talk about problems you have. Notice with problem you use with. I have a problem with something. Solutions, so the answers to your problems. You can sort a problem out, which is what this man is doing here with the wrench. He's fixing something. Make a decision, so get an answer. Trust your instincts, trust your intuition. This is to do with your feelings and knowing that what you feel is the right answer, you do this. Talk something over. Ignore a problem. I don't know if this picture works for everyone, but this is an expression when you put your head in the ground. It means, head in the sand. It means you're not answering the problem. You're hiding away from your problem. To not have a care in the world. Similar to ignoring the problem. To go away. Sometimes a problem will go away. It just disappears. And then another solution is to be sympathetic. And that's what this picture is trying to show here. It means when you care about other people. And you listen and understand. Okay, so that is problems and solutions. So in Unit 12 of this book, we did grammar on could have, should have, would have, hypothetical situations in the past with if, and the vocabulary was problems and solutions.